Hey guys, let's talk about episode number 10 of Heirs, you guys. This drama is making me fall in love with it, and this week definitely did not disappoint. So first off, let's talk about Kim Tan and Young Do, right? These two, I just want to lock them in a room somewhere and let them work through their personal issues, because the back and forth in this episode was just kind of awful. So because of what Young Do did in the last episode, Kim Tan decides to take his revenge, and he goes to Young Do's father's office and is all like, oh, I'm here to apologize for the fight we got in, knowing that this was going to really make Young Do's father angry at him. And sure enough, as soon as Kim Tan leaves, Young Do gets a beatdown yet again. This man is awful, you guys. Like, his dad is just awful. And every time I saw Rachel's mom, all I kept thinking to myself was, how could you marry this man? Like, I know she doesn't love him, and it's just for like status and money or whatever, but no amount of money in the world is worth marrying this guy. He's just awful. Let's talk about the brothers for a second. So Kim Tan and Kim Won. In my last review, I mentioned how these two really have so much in common that they need to like get over whatever issues they have and work together. And this week, again, we get more and more examples of the fact that these two are really kind of dealing with the same thing. They both kind of get forced to make the decision between family and business and love. We see Kim Won figure out that his dad is following him when he goes to see Tutor Girl, and so he knows he needs to make a decision. At the same time, we see Kim Tan kind of coming to that decision. Is he gonna marry Rachel? Is he gonna do what he needs to do to kind of make his family happy, or is he gonna follow his heart? Once again, these two brothers have so much in common. If they would just talk to each other, things would be so much better. So let's talk about Kim Tan and Yoon Song. There were a lot of really good scenes between the two of them. So they have another conversation about their relationship and where they're going. He, again, is just kind of like, you know, I want to be with you, la la la. He really does seem to be kind of led by his heart, whereas Yoon Song is kind of more practical about things. So for her, she's kind of like, look, if your mom finds out what's going on between us, my mother and I will be out on the streets, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I thought he made a really good point at the end of that conversation, though, when he was kind of like, look, I was willing to have the courage to kind of take that step out for us, but I see that you're not, so okay. And then he kind of leaves, and you get that she feels bad. You get that she does like him, and she realizes that he's right. Let's talk about Rachel. Let's talk about Kim Tan's fiance for a second. Rachel is evil, and we've talked about that. I mean, she's so evil, it's just kind of awesome. But there is a part of me that actually feels a little bad for Rachel, if you really think about it. You know, she's engaged to Kim Tan. It's really kind of more of a business arrangement, but all along we've gotten that Rachel has feelings for him, that Rachel wants him to kind of like her, and he doesn't. And I think that's where a lot of her like bad girl vibe comes from. There's a brunch date with Rachel, Kim Tan, and both of their mothers. And Rachel drops the bomb and basically says, like, what do I have to do to get out of this arrangement? I don't want to be engaged to Kim Tan anymore. And then you get that she did it so he could get a taste of what's going to happen if he tries to break the engagement. Because immediately his dad calls him and his mother's freaking out. And so, again, you know, this guy just must feel trapped. Now, back to Kim Tan and Yoon Song for a second. We did get one of the just quintessential K-drama moments in this episode. And that was the infamous back hug. At one point, Yoon Song wants to talk to Kim Tan so much that she actually goes up to his room, which we get as kind of a no-no. Like, she shouldn't be doing that, like, as the whole, like, housekeeper's daughter. But she goes anyway because she wants to kind of explain herself to him. And by the end of the conversation, it's back hug all the way. And he pretty much tells her that he's not going to give up on her. And you get that she's, like, completely affected by that. So let's talk about camp, right? Because everybody from school went on the field trip and went to camp, except for Kim Tan. He decides that he's going to sit this one out. He's going to stay at home. So they're all camping, and there's paintball. And then one of the bad things that happens is that the boy, whose name I can't think of, that goes to school with her remembers where he's seen her before. You know, he keeps telling her, like, you look so familiar. And finally it clicks for him. He remembers seeing her come out of Kim Tan's house in the morning in her pajamas. Now, of course, that would be scandalous. People don't realize that she's the housekeeper's daughter. So it sounds like she was doing the walk of shame, basically. Young Do, of course, is really interested in this, and he really presses the entire episode to get her to tell him what the relationship is between her and Kim Tan. We get that he likes her, you guys, right? And that he's just having a hard time expressing that. I kind of talked about that a lot in my last review, but he's just breaking my heart, man. There's some craziness with Rachel that happens in the woods that young Doe actually saves her from. You know, Rachel's like slapping people because that's what rich people do, I guess. And Rachel's slapping her because she realizes that Yoon Song is trying to call Kim Tan. And then young Doe shows up, rescues Yoon Song, and tells Rachel, like, haven't you heard? Like, Yoon Song is mine. And like drags her off. So our cliffhanger, again, is a love triangle moment. As young Doe and Yoon Song are having this discussion in the woods, who should show up but Kim Tan? Now, Yoon Song has her back turned to him, but young Doe sees him and decides to make him a little jealous. He grabs Yoon Song and pulls her into an embrace. And then the episode ends, which kind of sucks because we have to wait until next week to see what's gonna happen. So yeah, another great episode for Heirs. Yeah, you guys, episodes 9 and 10 were just really fantastic this week. Can't wait to see what's coming. That's it for me today, you guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.